Hi, everybody. I'm Noah Jackson, and today with me, one of my favorite voices in all of Nashville. An incredibly emotional vocal and really unique sense for melody and heartfelt lyrics. Few singer-songwriters have her knack for a breathtaking solo live performance, along with the ability to preserve the musicality in a fresh and colorful recording. She's been recognized by Belk's Modern Southern Music Tour, CMT's Next Woman of Country, and a finalist for Lightning 100's Music City Mayhem. Her new album, Must Be Present to Win, comes out June 26th, yeah?
Yes, yeah.
With an album release variety show on the 28th. It's Emily Hackett. Hi, Emily.
That was such a lovely introduction.
Thanks. I have so much more to say about this album.
Wow.
On the way driving here, I wrestled with whether or not to actually fall out of my chair to like demonstrate.
Just to, for dramatic effect, yeah.
Yeah. But it's so freaking beautiful.
Thank you.
My God. Jacqueline and I, my fiance, we are freaking obsessed, and we were big fans before. Well, I'd like to take credit and say that I introduced your music to her, but yeah, congratulations on an incredible album.
Thank you.
How are you feeling about all this?
It's a mixed bag, you know? I think I'm thrilled. I'm terrified that it's only 2 weeks away. But that's probably more about like the things happening around the record and during release week than about the record itself being out. I think that is pure joy and excitement.
You've got all these crazy events.
I do. And I wish that I could like make it more than just Nashville, because I have so many like loved ones and people that would want to be a part of release week in other places, but I live here. So I'm doing all these fun listening events where, I wanted to show people like how I listen to a record. Like, when I thought about that, I was like, well, I pour a glass of wine. And so we're going to have a wine tasting.
Yes.
And I listen to music when I'm moving my body, when I'm walking or running or whatever. And I was thinking about doing like a run or something, but I'm like, this isn't really like a running record, I mean, parts of it are, sure, but to really get in your feels and like be present with it, I thought yoga.
Yeah.
And then I am a visual artist as well, and so that's another place that I listen down to a record is when I'm making something. And so my friend Emma at Zane Ceramics was like, well, let's make something together. And so it's just going to be, I'm so excited about those events. I think that they're just going to be so fun and such a cool way to share the music.
Are you into ceramics otherwise, or you do more like paper?
I
paper
do.
Stuff, right?
Yeah, I do. Well, I have a little side hustle called Mother and Sunshine, and it's in cyanotypes, and it's like the original blueprint.
I'm sorry, I don't know what that means. Cyanotypes?
Yeah, so it's like imagine a blueprint, right?
Okay.
You see the background is blue, but any of the picture is white.
That's right. Yeah, okay.
So that is based off of a shadow that is made by the sun. So I can paint this. It's pretty wild. It's science.
So you you do something and then you put it outside to like bake?
And it like bakes in the sun. Yeah, it develops in the sun. And so I learned how to do that a few years ago and experimented with it. And then actually my friend and everyone's friend in Nashville, Bree Kennedy, asked me to make her merch a couple of years ago. And so that kind of spawned me turning it into something more than just a fun hobby. But yeah, and I actually have a market for that this weekend. I feel like this season I've been juggling music and art and...
Oh my God, Emily, how do you do this? I don't know. Like, this is something that I talk about with my musician friends all the time, this sort of entrepreneurial circus that so many of us undertake. And one of your songs feels like it's really about. It's, is it expectation? No.
High Expectations?
No,
I'm
the second one. Make a record, kill yourself to make a record, put it out.
Validation. Yeah. Yeah. That was born out of the most like raw emotions one night when I had the very unusual time of being alone and unbothered, and my baby was asleep and my husband was gone, and I'm like, I need to do something with myself that's not laundry or whatever. And it was one of the first times that I sat down and just like let that happen. And it was just very raw. Actually, it was just a free write, and I didn't have my guitar in hand, and then I was reading it and was like, this is a song. I mean, sometimes I rhyme. I don't know if you do this. I mean, when you're free writing, I like kind of accidentally rhyme things. It just happens. I feel like that's just in us now.
Yeah.
And so I did that, and it was pretty crazy too, because I was writing about this like vivid memory that I have of one of my good friends and like champions, Taylor DeRosa, who's a great drummer, and he's not in the music industry anymore. He took the note, had his moment, and was like, I'm going to go be a lawyer and make some real money.
Yeah.
But he is still one of just the best people. And when I was in college, he wanted to just go skating, and my job was to drive the car.
Like ice skating?
No, like skateboarding. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
I wanted to go skateboarding.
Not as cool as you.
No. I mean, so my job was to drive the car to the bottom of the hill and basically like ride alongside them. And I should have been filming. Like if we were doing it today, I would have a camera and I would be like being like the cool like skater filmer while driving. Really smart. But I would pick them up at the bottom of the hill and drive them up to the top so they could just do it again without like having to work for it. And that was like, it was one of like the most pure, like youthful moments. You know what I mean? Where you're just like, we have nowhere to be.
Right.
And we're gonna skip the hard stuff and we're gonna just have a good time.
So much of this music stuff, some of the stuff that you're doing, and lots of people who are busting their ass to do this, a lot of it to me feels like a means to an end.
Sure.
Right? And it's like, why are you making this incredible art that's all over your Instagram and your website and your merch? Oh, well, to build your career or do this or that, rather than what you say in your song, which is like, I'm doing this one for myself, right? Yeah. Jacqueline and I started doing dance lessons, which is sort of a means to an end for our first dance for our wedding.
Sure.
But we had this moment where it's like, this is just life.
This is just fun.
Right? And skateboarding in general, I feel like embodies that. But the fact that you were like the chairlift for skateboarding.
I know. That's such a great way of putting it. Oh my God, that's hilarious. I mean, and like chairlift and DJ. Like I was blasting tunes with all the windows down.
Yeah. I should have put that in your bio. Emily Hackett, chairlift / DJ.
DJ chairlift. Yeah. Hire me whenever you need me.
Wow, that's awesome. I mean, I don't know. I'm not so good at this yet, but I feel like we so much to talk about. I definitely want to hit some aspects of the record because it's what I'm interested in.
Heck yeah,
you're going to be interested in it, listeners at home, when you listen to it. So the title of the album, which I think is so beautiful, Must Be Present to Win. It's one of those phrases that you hear and you don't realize how heavy it is, at least for me, or how much weight, how much there is.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk about that. Did you have that moment when you were entering some contest or heard it on the radio or something and you were like, oh, that's it?
Yes, I did have that moment, but the moment was with my husband, Mikey Reeves. And Mikey is one of those people that he says like the wildest shit sometimes.
I can attest to that. It's true.
You're just like, it's not even like that it's crass or whatever. Like sometimes it definitely is, but there's times that you're just like, how did you piece that together in your brain? And so I live with that and it's amazing. But this was one of those moments where I actually had not heard that phrase before. And I had come back. I wish I could recall like what I had been talking about with him when he said it. But I know that it had to do with me like having gone to something that I didn't feel like going to.
Yeah.
And then, of course, come home from it like elated because of the conversations that I've had and the synchronicities and whatever that I'm just like going on and on about my night. And he's like, must be present to win. And I'm like, what? Like it just hit me in the biggest way where I immediately saw this in my head. And I was like, and I was not with child yet. So that was over 4 years ago, almost 5 years ago. And I kind of have been just like holding on to it. And it wasn't until I think it was like it might have been my birthday that year. So almost exactly 5 years ago. Whatever. But I had the idea for Countdown. And Mikey and I started working on it. And then we went to LA for that year and finished it with Megan Redman, who's amazing. And finally got to like, I thought that it was going to be like a song. And we just kind of casually like threw it into the bridge.
Right.
And
just right at the end there, right?
Yeah. And I was like, you know what? That's enough. It's enough for me.
Yes.
It did it for my soul. But then I still knew no matter what, like that was kind of the vision that helped guide me when I started getting back into writing after having a kid and being like, this is the thing that I think I have to say.
Yeah.
And it's not me saying like, I have it figured out. Like, I'm no guru. I mean, in Cherry, I talk about how I'm constantly searching for one. So in no way, shape, or form am I coming out being like, I know how to do this. Like, it's just my constant, like, remember this, like, don't forget that you got to show up to the things that are like yelling at you, and you got to put down your fucking phone and all the things. And so it was just, it is my little, it's just my message to myself. And it really does kind of bring it back to what you were talking about with like doing this record for me. Like, am I terrified nobody's going to listen to it and nobody's going to come to the shows and then I'm never going to make music again? Like, does that cross my mind? Of course. Yes. We can't escape being human.
Yeah.
But the reality is that I made it. Mm-hmm. It is whole. I'm proud of it, and it's going to exist in the world. And it has like all of the imagery that I had been dreaming of since the moment it left his mouth.
Wow. That's so amazing. For it to hit you like a brick wall.
It really did. I mean, I remember exactly where I was when he said it.
Do you remember that goofy saying, it's like the past is this and the future is that and the present is a gift, and that's why we call it the present. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah. I don't remember exactly how it goes, but I know what you're talking about.
And now is a gift. I'm passionate about mindfulness practice, and this idea of presence is so key. And I think it's so key to making art.
Yeah.
Do you know any Elizabeth Gilbert? She wrote Eat, Pray, Love.
Of course.
Yeah, and she has that book that a lot of folks like, Big Magic. Mm-hmm. She has this saying about, or talks about what a genius is. Mm-hmm. That some ancient civilization thought of a genius as more like a fairy godmother. Have you heard this?
I read Big Magic, but I this is like, it's washing in my brain.
So she says that it was like a fairy godmother, sort of like a spirit, like somebody that visits you.
Right.
And so you show up every day. She's talking about her own process of writing the biggest book in the world.
Right.
And says, if you if I show up every day, sometimes my genius, my little fairy godmother will not arrive.
Yes.
But I'm present, I'm there, so it could happen.
Right.
But if my fairy godmother genius shows up and I don't, it also can't happen.
Yes.
And so it's a little bit of that magic. Still, you share the blame and the success. You can't attribute it all to yourself.
Yeah.
Either way, whether you feel like it's a victory or a failure.
Which, that does relieve some of that pressure, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Some of but at the same time holds you accountable. Like it makes you want to show up instead of feeling shameful for not showing up. For me anyway.
Yeah.
I think because, we're all out here doing our best. And I, as a mom too, like there's plenty of times where I would love nothing more than to show up creatively.
Yeah.
And I just can't.
Right.
I'm stretched thin. But that eases my heart a little bit to know that it's like, okay, maybe the genius showed up and I couldn't, but maybe they didn't show up either. And we're good. We're both good.
Totally.
We both needed a break for a second.
Yeah. Yeah, like that feeling when somebody cancels plans and you're like,
Thank God. Yes.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Cool. Well, you mentioned Cherry. I don't know how else to say this. Just go listen to this album. Must Be Present to Win. Emily Hackett. It's so freaking good. I love it so much. I sort of feel bad that for that advanced link that you sent me studying for this, that you're not getting the streams because it's a lot.
What's hilarious about you saying that is that my manager was like, asking how many people we could like share the album with before in order to get them to come to the show or whatever. Right. And I'm like, no, I want the streams to matter. I was like, they can listen to what's out and they can be surprised like everybody else.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like your manager won that conversation or no?
I mean, she has the link. She's going to do what she will with it. Okay. But no, I mean, I at the end of the day, I'm just happy that the music is being heard.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe we should talk about, I feel like we need to talk about life. I'm so business. I want to talk about music all the freaking time.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We're buddies.
I have a little note for every freaking song.
Oh my gosh. I love
but
that.
I don't want to. Okay. Maybe let's talk about Butter.
Okay.
Which is
that's exciting.
Which is like I would say is sort of an outlier.
Definitely. Yeah.
So anybody that's heard Emily sing knows that you're an amazing singer.
Thank you.
And, yeah, how do you do that? How do you sing like that? Emily, I would really like to know.
I gotta give that one up to God.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You do practice?
Well, I do warm-ups. Katie Shearer, Talbot, I actually don't know what she goes by her voice lesson names, but we've been buddies for a long time, and she's given me some lessons, and I honestly revisit that all the time. But I usually revisit it just before I'm gonna like go play a show. Yeah. But I know that like with consistency, I mean, it's a muscle, like you do have to work it. So there was real fear the first time that I played after, I probably hadn't played a show in at least a year, and singing was only really happening in like whispers to my little baby as I was putting him to sleep. And so to like actually sing and do that, I was like, wow, I need to be rehearsing this shit and working it every day.
Okay, so you practice like your songs, your performance before you're gonna do your show, but you're not doing like me.
No, I am doing that. I am. Yeah, she has. It's like a 20-minute voice memo that lives on my phone, and I swear to God, if it ever gets deleted, I'll cry. So
I'm sure she'd do another one.
As we're talking about our iPhone storage issues before we started,
totally.
I'm like, just don't let me lose that. No, but I do try to work it, and because it's I'm reminded. So yeah, I try to keep up.
It's awesome. It's amazing. It's really frustrating to hear you say that because I'm working so hard, and I will push back that it's not a muscle. It's many muscles, and I'm studying them all.
Okay, that's a fact.
Okay,
yeah.
but no, that brings me back to the Must Be Present to Win. Like, Jacqueline said to me, it's just like working so hard at improving my vocal technique, and she was like, you need to relax.
Yeah, oh, and big time. And you know what? There was a show that I did where in Cleveland years ago that a local girl opened for me that told me what she does as her warm up, and she was like, "Just open your mouth and relax your throat." And I did. I was like, "Okay." And she goes, "Now really relax it." And it like you feel it like all the muscles just go like butter, like just like and it just like and all I was like, "Oh, I need to be doing this because my nerves makes me like right." And like and it does kind of open you up because I feel like whenever you get nervous, you tense, right? And so you do tense those muscles too. And so that was a nice reminder. Like I did that several times the other night. So.
Great. Okay, you felt like butter. Getting back to track 7, maybe.
Yeah.
Butter. You're an amazing singer, but you guys went like the full T-Pain on the
we did,
which is amazing. I love this. I love these risky choices from artists. It's the thing. It's the thing to do, right? Mm-hmm. You're vulnerable and natural and real in so much of your album and in your writing, and then it's. I like to tell people it's like playing the electric voice, sort of.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? It's like acoustic guitar, electric guitar. It's not like worse. It's a sort of a different instrument, right? And I'm curious how that came about because if you were in the studio with me and you were like, I think I want to crank the autotune to like full T-Pain, I would be like,
what?
I don't think so. So
you don't really want to do that.
Is that Mikey? Who decided
to
do that?
That was with Will Stone.
Okay.
And I have to give a lot of credit to Will and my friend Robin Collins. And I hope that they hear this because when I was first getting back to just real like side tangent, when I was first getting back into writing after having a baby and after moving back to Nashville after being in LA for like a year, they kind of like helped me unlock that confidence that like I was like, it's crazy what having a kid and like stepping away for a second can do to your confidence. It can really rock you. Huh. And Robin Collins has known me for a while, and since I was like 23 or something. So she has her own kids too that are older, and so she has like such this like warm spirit, and I would get together with her. She introduced me to Will, and we would write together, and that was kind of like where I was trying to start writing for the record. And we wrote some really amazing songs together, and they will see the light of day, I promise. Maybe not all of them, but as I was cutting down songs for the record, a lot of those songs didn't end up making it onto this project, but Butter was one that it was another free write that I had.
Brain dump for those of you
Brain
who've
dump,
done it,
like for anyone who's done the Artist's Way, it's like your morning pages, where you're supposed to be like stream of consciousness. And I wrote all this down, and it came from a place of me being like freaked out about money, right? And being like, songwriter family, and we have a kid, and I'm like, really nice to know like how much is going to be in our account next month, and I think a lot of musicians really actively trying to pursue it can relate to that.
So many people all over the world, and look, I love songs about how much. There's so many bravado songs about how much money I have or how great or sex I am, and that's okay. That's fine. There's time and place for that, but like this real, I don't know. I'll let you continue.
It was a little vulny.
It's vulnerable, but it's like, I heard Amy Allen, hit songwriter Amy Allen, say once, if you don't connect to your song, why would you expect other people to? Right?
Mic drop.
Yeah. Okay, so can you give us some of those lyrics for Butter? Is it Mama's trying to make that bread?
Baby's trying to make that bread. But it's really more like butter. Like I was it's so stream of consciousness of me being like, I'm trying to make the bread. It was really more like butter because you've got to spread it thin so you don't have to wonder when the next check is coming in. It was just so me actively figuring out like that phrase and like just me making sense of it all. And when I brought it to Will, we tried to like really like go for it in terms of like, I don't know, like the normal, whatever normal Nashville writing a song thing is.
Yeah.
And I could not even begin to tell you what that sounded like. We were at it for a while, and I finally just was like, man, I don't know. Maybe this is just supposed to live in my journal and never in the world. And I can't recall what happened. I think he was trying to play around with adding a guitar to what we were doing, and it was soloed out and just vibey. And he was playing along, and I was like, Can you just turn this on? And I don't even know what's going to come out. So just put some autotune on. And it was so, I think we only had like 10 minutes before I had to leave. Like, no shit. It was like 10 or 15 minutes before I had to go. And that's what happened.
That's
and
awesome.
So it was like, it felt wrong to touch it again, right? For me to revisit it and take the autotune off. And I was just like, no, that was the magic.
Right. In that moment.
That was it.
That presence. That's so cool.
That was it.
That's so cool. Wow. It's like appreciating that it's magic is so important. Like so many people work so hard to create things, to design things. And no matter what, like there's skill and there's practice, it's craft, of course. But making something like music, I have undervalued the fact that it's magic.
It is.
Right?
My friend Jamie, she doesn't do music. She's a brilliant actress and writer, but she always calls us magicians. And I'm like, you mean musicians? And she's like, no, magicians. And I'm like, okay. And I've always loved that. It's
That's
so
awesome.
true.
Yeah. Cool. I'm going to call people out on that.
Yeah.
Magician. You're a musician? No, I'm a magician.
Magician.
Okay, so you crank the auto-tune on what could totally be like a really hard rap vocal, lyrically speaking. Lyrically speaking. And then there's an Alan Watts soundbite.
Yeah.
And for all my hippy-dippy mindfulness folks, you know who Alan Watts is. Alan is described as this interpreter, one of the best interpreters of Eastern religions for the West, and was a huge influence in the Haight-Ashbury, San Francisco hippie movement. And he happened to have this gorgeous voice. And
You mean speaking voice?
yes.
Okay.
Gorgeous.
So I was like, wait, what? He sings? Oh my God.
yeah. And recorded a bunch of his lectures, right? As you know.
Yeah.
And so cool that that's dropped in there. Mm-hmm. The beginning, struggle with money, and then this very impactful soundbite from Alan speaking, puts such a nice bow on it, and is such a unique and distinct track in this album of otherwise really live band-ish atmospheric feeling stuff. So I want to point that out. Definitely listen to Butter.
Thanks.
That's an amazing one.
You know more about Alan than I do, I will say. Because I only recently discovered him when other people were using his sound bites on TikTok, and I was just so enamored and was like, oh my gosh, who is this person and what is he like? And so I did go on like a rabbit hole about Alan Watts, but I didn't know as much about like his history as much as I just listened to his teachings and how it felt so right to invite him to the record.
Oh, what a nice way to put it. You invited him. He accepted. You have another song. Is it called The Steps? Forget the Steps? Mm-hmm. It's called The Steps.
Yeah.
And the idea roughly is like, well, I don't know. Why don't you tell me?
Well, I was thinking about that when you were talking about your dance lessons, actually. Because it's so true. You know, like the song is... I wrote it with Savannah Santos, who Queen, and Mikey, my husband, and I was just kind of, I didn't even have the idea or anything. That was one of those few times that you just kind of write your way in.
Yeah.
And I would
do the dance, forget the steps. What's the line?
silly girl, just enjoy the dance and forget the steps.
Yeah.
Because that's life.
That is life. That is
Right?
life. And so there's this Alan Watts lecture where he talks about being really religious.
Yeah.
It's phrased almost like a joke, which I love when this sort of mindfulness or Eastern religion stuff is. It's like a joke or like a story. He says, this man spent his whole life, not drinking, not eating rich foods and being really buttoned up and really straight and really stern. And these things that we associate with, really rule following,
Sure.
maybe even very religious.
Yeah.
And then he dies and goes to heaven. And before he gets to heaven, meets God, and God says, what did you do your whole life? And he's like, well, I followed your rules. I was like very buttoned up. I did everything by the book, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And God looks at him and is like, you were supposed to dance.
You missed the point,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were supposed to dance. That's exactly it. I mean, I think like that is what the song is about. I mean, you hit it on the head. I got married. I had a baby. I kind of like followed what was the expectation of a young woman becoming an adult, and and both times it was like I felt like after the fact of getting married, I maybe had jumped in too soon, not with my relationship, but just like the idea of like getting married and like that whole moment and sharing that with everyone you've ever known who has like raised you, like it's a big deal, right? And not to freak you out, but as an engaged man, but like the moment that you get to do that, you don't get to do it again. You're not really supposed to do it again, And
Right.
so I kind of had to work through that after the fact because I'm a bit of a control freak. And so, yeah, it's only like half of me in true Gemini form, but it's a strong.
You're so chill and cool, though.
Thank you.
No, you really, I mean.
It depends on like, it just depends on the thing. But like with that, I was like, no, this is good. I guess it's also kind of like every little girl's dream really is like being like, the wedding's going to be perfect. And I really wanted it not to be like perfect, but to be very me.
Yeah.
And it's like my chance to get to do it how I wanted to do it. And I really succeeded, and I'm really proud of like the photos from my wedding. Stunning. But I'm okay with it now because I did a whole big old mushroom trip and dealt with it. But I had to, as my therapist said, I had to mourn my wedding day, which was really weird and crazy.
Just like you were. Oh no, go ahead.
Because it was perfect, amazing, like so much love, but then I wasn't fully present until the final like hour at best of my wedding, where like all my bridesmaids were coming over to me being like, come on, let's go get in the photo booth, like let's go take a picture together. And I go, no, I will be dancing. I will be dancing at my wedding. You can go do that. And they were like, okay. And I did. And that's all I did for the rest of the wedding was I just danced because I was like, where did the night go? Where did the whole day go? It goes by so fast. And so I kind of had to like work through that. And just like out of the beauty of the mushroom trip that I had experienced and that really helped me get through that was, I had photos of my wedding up on the wall, and there's, I was really in it. So the photos were very like Harry Potter style, like moving. Like
whoa, that's so cool.
Like the wind was blowing through the trees and everything was like the sun was shining and the photos were truly alive, and it was incredible because it was able to bring me right back to that moment. And I was able to look at it all and be like, wow, how fucking cool. How, like, all these people that came, that showed up, all, like, I'm pointing out different faces that I see in the photos, and I'm like, and I just stood there staring at my wedding photos, crying and being so grateful. And so I look back on it now, and I'm like, it was amazing. It was the best day of my life. But, you know, to look, when I'm writing that song, I wanted to be honest in the space of being like, yeah, okay, sure. Like, there's the expectations. You're supposed to get married. You're supposed to procreate. And
those are the
steps, like, right? Or like, those are the steps. Or like, and I even felt wrong, like, getting married when I did, because I hadn't, like, made it as an artist, or like didn't have the job in the bag.
Of course, me too.
You know,
yeah.
And like that feels, you feel like you're doing things out of order. And I had to, like, get past that in hindsight. And it was such a healing rite, because Savannah is so young and so wise, and she's like, girl, like, you're crushing it. Like, who cares? Like, just enjoy it. Like, this is your life. This is your one and only life. And she always shares a story that her grandmother spoke to her in one of her trips, that was like, this is your life. It's supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be fun.
Fun required. Fun is required.
And it's so nice to just, like, that song was such a beautiful day, and I recorded the vocals, like, way late too, like, not long before we had to, like, turn it all in. It felt like I needed to give it another go. And it's funny too, like, that was a song that was truly for me in entirety. And I guess they all are, but, like,
I know what you mean.
You know, like, when you're making your choices for your record, you are considering what people might resonate with and what they might like. Yeah,
what sounds new, or what sounds fresh, what sounds vintage or old. What is, maybe I'm going to push the tempo a little bit because I want it to be upbeat at the shows, but then I'm like, yeah, but, I want to milk it. I want it to be slow or whatever.
Yeah, that was one that I really was not taking anyone else into consideration.
That's cool.
I just was like, this is for me.
Yeah.
And it's cool because it actually has come up a few times in different interviews and conversations with people that I have shared the record with ahead of time, that I'm like, isn't that funny? Isn't that funny that my song, for me, is resonating with somebody else? Like, that's the real magic.
It really is. I think it's going to resonate with a lot of people. I mean, part of me is a little freaked out because it feels like it checks so many of my personal boxes. I mean, I'm open, and if I can toot my own horn for a second.
Please do.
Like, I think I had really great education in the arts, which doesn't make me necessarily familiar with a lot of artists and theater, etc. But I feel like I'm good at taking it in, at accepting it. You know what I mean? And so I listen close, and I wanted to talk to you about where this stuff comes from. But I mean, with the getting married, the dancing, the steps, the expectation, the Alan Watts, Cherry. We didn't get into the fact that that's about, like, I have it now. That thing that I want, I have it. Like, and the Cherry, right?
Yeah.
This is where you and I differ. I'm not into astrology.
Okay.
And I'm not into manifestation.
Okay.
And yet, this entire album of writing, of singing, I'm just like, preach! I'm like, yes, I'm like, we're aligned in every possible way.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, so wait, I have to, now I kind of want to know, like, why, well, I can understand why people aren't into astrology, but why not manifestation?
I think it comes down to expectation. Me and my expectation track 6. I don't know. It's on there. But expectation, like, I did manifest. I mean, did I manifest it if it didn't happen? You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
I feel like
yeah.
I had, like the steps you were talking about, I had such a clear vision for my life in so many ways.
Right.
And then come to find out that it almost never happens that way. And rather, the key is to be present and dance with it. However, to ride the wave instead of trying to build a lake, get a surfboard and ride the wave.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. Maybe this is a bit of a pendulum swing for me because so much of my, I think, even childhood was spent being like, oh, I'm in fifth, as Alan Watts says, I'm in fifth grade to get to sixth grade. I'm in ninth grade to get to 10th grade. Right. I'm in high school to get to college. I'm in college to go to graduate school to get this job, to get that job. And there's no there. I never get there.
You're never arriving.
So that's why the manifestation thing, which has been so helpful to so many people, and so many people talk about it, and it's so popular, I know, I felt like I'm trying to live here and now. I'm not manifesting. I have so many lists and plans. Oh my God. So many plans.
Same. You know, I think I can attest to that. I think, like I said, by no means have I figured it out just because I wrote the song, right? Like I think that manifestation for me is more of like less of like it's like when you're a kid, you know, and you're like, please let me get a bike on my birthday. Yes. Please let me get a bike on my birthday. It's like, okay, you can't like necessarily, sometimes, I don't know, there are people out there that say like they manifested their dream home exactly where they wanted it and it just happens. Yes. And like that's pretty crazy.
People say that.
It does happen.
Sure.
But for me, I lean more towards just like the way that I want to feel is what I'm trying to manifest. Is like when I want to I'm manifesting joy around this record release. I'm manifesting peace in my home with a toddler. Like, it's more about that because then to me it feels like you can attain that, you know? Beautiful. And it might not look exactly the way like you thought it was going to.
Sure.
But you can still get there.
Yeah. Beautifully put, Emily. Cool. I love that.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to talk about that sort of thing. I realized that, like in college, I realized that I shouldn't poo-poo astrology if I want to talk to girls at parties. Mm-hmm. You know, and so some of the woo-woo stuff that I'm not into, I like. It's nice to be able to be open-minded and to have a friend be like, this is how I see it. I mean, it's really nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we talk about Brian?
Yeah, we can talk about Brian.
So when I first started hearing, all morning, Jacqueline and I have been going, Brian, you've been on my mind. Is that how it goes?
Yeah. Wow. Okay, I might get emotional. Hearing somebody else sing that. Woo! That did something to me.
Okay, let me. Can I intro you a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, so your wonderful husband, Mikey, there's a song for him on this, I would say. Yeah. At least one, clearly called Time Machine.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. And at the beginning of this other song, which is called...
It's called When You Stop By.
When You Stop By. Yeah. It was set up in a sort of a familiar way, like a love song, and I know your love. Mm-hmm. And so I thought it was going to be... Mikey, and then you go, Brian,
and then wait,
I was like, and then you a little further, just probably still in the chorus. I'm like, I'm guessing that this is a different kind of relationship, or it's a past relationship. I don't know, but either way, I was like, all through this record, I was like, this is like a real human frickin' emotion that hits me, even. So will you tell us a little bit about Brian?
I would love to. Brian is one of my best friends who passed away. Mm. And he died, I think this was the 11th year. that he's been gone.
Wow.
And we were really tight in middle school and in high school. And he was one of the people who early on encouraged me to do music. He showed me a lot of music. And I experienced my first Dave Matthews concert with Brian. And he's a huge Blink-182 fan. So I wore this shirt because of that. In that song,
Yes.
I talk about him wearing a Blink shirt.
Yes.
And so the song is about him visiting me in my dreams.
Wow.
After he died. Yeah. And that was something that it would happen sporadically. And there was one like very memorable one that was around Halloween. And so I referenced that too. And he was a big Halloween fan. Like we connected over that. I'm a huge Halloween person. My family was. We had a haunted house growing up, and he was a part of it, and it was a whole thing. But yeah, so it was me just needing to talk about that experience and being like, I don't even know how I share this with people, that I get to hang out with my friend who is on the other side when I'm sleeping, but then it also gets like stripped away from you very quickly when you wake up, and it's such a hard.
Yes. Oh, that is so painful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So much joy in it where I'm like, it's so visceral, like feeling like sitting there with him at a party and like talking, and him telling me that he's proud of me.
Oh my God.
For real. I mean, like those were all real things that I pulled from my dreams. And man, I wish he could come to this show and be a part of this. And, I actually got to see his parents last weekend.
Wow.
They were in Nashville meeting
mother
up with
show.
a friend. Oh, no, I guess I should say 2 weekends ago. But
Gotcha.
they were in town visiting another friend, and they wanted to make sure that we connected because we've kept a good, relationship over the years and a bond because they've known me since I was so young. And and they're so good now. Like they're really thriving, and it's nice to see. And I said I hadn't shared this song with them yet, and I asked his mom. I was like, "Do you guys want to hear it?" And she goes, "Oh, you're gonna have to send that to me. I cannot open those floodgates right now." And she's such the energy of just like she's so much of Brian's like personality like lives within both of them. They are like kind of opposites. And anyway, I could go on and on, but that's what Brian, that's who Brian is. Yeah.
Songwriters, listen to Emily Hackett's album, investigate writing about frickin' life, real life. Look, I'll say it a million times, like party songs, breakup songs, men are terrible songs. Okay. There's a place for all of it, right? But that ability, I really believe that this ability and the skill is rare to live a life which we all do, which is complicated and deep and beautiful, full of dreams that are gorgeous and meaningful and hard, loss and love, the incredible complexity of life, to distill that in any way, whether you're a poet or prose or you make videos or whatever, to really extract those ingredients of life and put them into something that somebody else can make. That is, I think it's rare, and that's art to me, and I think you do that amazingly. You must be really proud.
I am, and I appreciate those words so much.
Yeah. Okay, maybe let's talk a little bit about Halloween before we go any bit further.
About the holiday? Or
you said, I just want to quote you to you. I'm a big Halloween person. I actually don't know if that's exactly what you said. I was hanging out with my friend Haley last night, and she was like, me and Connor, we love Flag Day. And I was like, that's crazy.
What?
Yeah, they always do something. I don't know if they love flags in general. I don't know if it's the American flag.
That's hilarious.
Okay, you being a big Halloween person, as a kid, I want to hear what that was like. And also now you're sort of on the other side of this.
Yeah.
And whoa, that's crazy and scary. I will admit to being super excited and passionate to have Halloween now in a neighborhood where I'm a little too old to trick or treat. But the kids come by our house.
Right.
And I'm jazzed about that. We get the Ring doorbell so we get to watch the replays.
Yeah. Oh, cute.
You know, and
I didn't think about that.
my friends, I think, thought that I was a little bit cringy. I'm like a couple years older than a lot of my friends, but actually like 2. So 2 years older.
Which means nothing.
Which means nothing, right? And I was like, guys, don't you want to come over and like pass out candy? And they're like, no, we're going to the bar. We're going to get drunk. And I was like, okay, but like we could like watch this movie and then watch the little dinosaurs and policemen come to the door, you know? And I got roasted a little bit for that, but
cute though. That's so wholesome.
you've got a little boy now, and so I imagine are you all trick or treating?
Yeah, we trick or treated from the get go. I mean, Blue was born because I love Halloween.
Okay, so you got to run down the costumes year by year, all 3 of you.
Yeah. So year 1, Blue was 1 month old.
Oh my God. Okay.
So he was like still a little alien, like all of his like.
So he was a little alien, probably.
I should have totally made him an alien, but no. We decided to be the Blue Man group. Because his name is Blue.
Oh, right.
And I did not paint my newborn child's face blue. Just to clarify, he was blue.
I'm going to edit that to make it sound like you did.
But we painted our faces bright blue, and then we were all like, you know, in the garb, like we had like the hair, like the no hair piece, the bald
You had like
head.
a bald cap?
Yeah, we had like bald caps on and like all black and everything. Was all good and fun when we're like in the light of day, but when at night, a child came up to me and goes, "Are you in blackface?" And I was like, "Oh." I was horrified. I was absolutely horrified. I had to pull my phone out and with my flashlight on like a grandma and be like, "It's blue.
It's Blueface. It's Blueface." Right.
Oh my God, it was terrible. Anyway, but that was so lesson learned there.
Oh my God,
but
that is so funny.
that was year 1. Year 2, Blue said he wanted to be a lion, and that's only because that's one of the few words that he could say at the time. And so I was a witch because that was the kind of like default costume that I always was growing up. And like, mind you,
Pointy hat, witch, or flop?
oh yeah,
You the flop or the point?
I switch it up.
Oh,
I switch it up.
nice.
Depends on my mood, you know. But you know, just like real quick, when I mentioned like we had a haunted house growing up, I didn't live in a haunted house. We would haunt my house, my childhood home in Atlanta, every Halloween, and it was a thing. It started with my dad just wanting to scare the living daylights out of children at the front door.
Love it.
To the next year, him building a maze out of the garage and asking a few of his like buddies to like pop out at people, and then you get candy at the end. And then the next year, every year it would grow. And then finally, my mom was like, "All right, I guess we're just on board with this. We're just going to do the whole thing." Wow. So we had strangers like literally just like walking through our home and through the yard. And we did it for 12 years.
Yeah.
And I stopped trick-or-treating at like 4th grade probably because I made it halfway down my street and I was like, I want to go back to the haunted house. That's way more fun.
Yeah.
And my first job in my haunted house was so good. Was me, you know what Visqueen is? It's like it's kind of like a backdrop, like, but it's just like black, like plastic, and we would use that to make like fake walls.
Oh,
right?
okay, yeah.
And so there was like my kitchen was set up where there was like a Visqueen situation where there was a hallway going from one door to another door. And we had the rest of the kind of behind the scenes. And so one of the adults took me in my 8-9-year-old ankles, and grabbed them and slid me across the floor. Like, where I would go underneath the Visqueen, grab somebody's ankles and come back.
Incredible.
It was thrilling for them and for me. They would scream and just be like, something just touched me. Like, it was just the most, oh my God, so fun. But anyway, that's the side tangent for like why my family is so obsessed with Halloween. And when I was older, I ended up being like the tour guide through the haunted house, and that was always the role of a witch. And so my default outfit is a witch because
Did you do a witch voice?
Oh yeah, I was actually
Come with me
one of the things that
this way.
I would do that, and then one of the things I would do is just like not even speak to people as they're coming in, and just quietly hum, "Come little children, I'll take thee away into a land of enchantment." It's from Hocus Pocus.
Yes.
They sing that at the very beginning of the movie, and I just think it's like the creepiest little tune. And I would just like quietly sing it, and people were already freaked out before they walk in, and it was just such fun.
That was your first gig.
Yeah, exactly. First gig. But anyway, back to the outfits.
That's so cool.
I was a witch. He was a lion. So this is kind of like a theme for us that Mikey, he doesn't really care about Halloween so much. He kind of like rolls his eyes at the Hackett family being like so obsessed with Halloween. And he's like, can't you guys just be fucking normal and like Christmas? And we're like, no. And so he goes, I'll come up with a costume of just me and Blue. Cause I'm like, you're probably not going to dress up anyway. And he goes, well, if he's a lion and you're a witch, then that makes me a wardrobe malfunction.
No.
And he wore one of my like breastfeeding shirts, which you can literally just you unattach like the thing and a boob pops out. So he literally just wears.
Oh my God.
He wore that tank top open like Janet Jackson style, and we were the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe Malfunction, and
Incredible.
it was insanely good. And then last year. Blue goes, oh wait, no, there was 1 year in between where that one was boring. He wanted to be Elmo, and I made a pretty cool costume where I was he was Big Bird and I was Cookie Monster, or Elmo, and Mikey was Cookie Monster, and it was cool. And I got really creative with the costumes, but it wasn't like funny.
Well, the theme thing is hilarious, right? The puns, the themes, that's great. But if you have a built-in group.
Yeah, it's great.
Every
You
year,
kind of have to go as a group, right?
Yeah,
it's way more fun.
Yeah, then you're like a cast of characters.
Yeah, and then you get to participate in it with them. And so like Blue was in school this year, and they had a little Halloween party, and so they encouraged everybody to dress up. And Blue, I asked him multiple times throughout the month what he wanted to be, and every time his answer was a duck. And I was like, okay, we're gonna be a duck. I was like, I guess I'm gonna be a duck. And Mikey goes, well, I guess that makes me the goose. And I was like, oh my God, you had to make it good. You had to make it funny. Yes.
Wow, incredible. Wow.
So anyway, that's my Halloween tangent.
That's awesome. I feel compelled to like play the character, the costume.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, you're like,
I love a spooky voice.
okay. You're full commit.
Yeah, I think I was Borat 1 year probably, which is pretty easy for me. Just like fake mustache and a suit and a flag pin.
Right. Yeah, you already got the dark features, and yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm
I love
on the
Halloween.
other ones.
If you host a Halloween party, I will attend.
It sounds like you should be hosting.
I know I should. I haven't hosted one in a while, not since nostalgia. I hosted a nostalgia themed Halloween party where I wanted everyone to dress up as like something from the 90s.
Right.
Yeah. 80s.
Yeah, there's cool. I want to ask you a few more questions, circle back to the album a little bit, and then
you don't want to keep talking about Halloween?
I could. Okay, so what is East Nashville?
That's a hot take, right? I mean, I think personally, pretty much anything on the other side of the river is considered East Nashville up until Madison.
Okay.
And then that's Madison.
That's Madison.
Yeah.
But like, what is it? You know, like, okay, so I know it's the best. Sorry, this is a really vague question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to figure out how to ask a bunch of people this because I think it's really special.
It is.
And most people don't know about it, right? When people hear my music or hear the music that a lot of the music I've worked on a lot of country music, but hear a lot of the music that I'm working on or meet my friends or hear their music from out of town, they're like, oh, this is happening in Nashville? And I'm like,
let me get my cowboy hat.
Right. Exactly. I'm like, well, I get on my horse. And no, the culture and the music that's being made in East Nashville, I think is really special.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if we look back in, 20 years and look at this chunk of time in this location and be like, oh, it was one of those things.
Yeah.
It was like
really
San Francisco during this time.
Right.
It was like Brooklyn or New York during this time.
Right.
It was the Philly sound, that sort of thing.
Sure. I'd buy that.
Yeah. And so I think about, it's a lot of women singer-songwriters
Hell yeah.
leading the charge there. There's some awesome male singer-songwriters as well. But I feel like you're one of those quintessential representations of an East Nashville artist. If somebody's like,
thank you.
what are you talking about? I'm like, okay, listen to Emily, listen to Jess Nolan, maybe, listen to Eva Cassell, Brie Kennedy, Melissa Aaron.
Yeah.
Okay,
so many.
That's like the maybe music part of it, and please feel free to add to this.
Yeah.
I'm really trying to figure out how to, sum it up. But it's also the fashion sense, the shag haircut, the local honey, hair salons, the restaurants.
It's it's like an attitude almost. It's an energy. It also, to me, really comes down to community.
Yeah.
And that differs from other parts of Nashville because truly on a map, you're looking at like 12 South neighborhood, Wedgwood. It's like every like mile it changes to a different neighborhood.
Yes.
And there is something about that sort of like separates things in terms of a community. I've lived in Nashville for a long time, and I have a lot of friends and people who don't live in East Nashville and whatever. I lived in Green Hills for a long time, but like it never felt like my location mattered for who I knew and like how I built my community until I moved to East Nashville.
Right on.
And that's so beautiful. And I feel like people in East who live there try to protect that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I think like, sure, are we getting people moving from California and wherever and picking East just like they're doing it everywhere else in Nashville? Yes, that happens. But like, I think that when shit hits the fan and like they're trying to build like a high rise somewhere, people will come out in droves to be like, go home. Like I think that that's the energy that East Nashville gives because it's like, no, these are our people.
This is like our artist enclave.
This is where the artists live and their families.
Yeah.
And we're going to get the kids together at the cool bar down the street, and they're gonna play outside while we eat burgers and drink beer, and we're gonna, and then we're gonna hit up a house show later, or you know what I mean? Like it's that kind of, it's a bit of a rock and roll energy, and I do feel like there is, having been in Nashville for a long time, I do feel like there is a bit of like a resurgence of like a underground sort of like rock scene too, which is fun to kind of like see come to life again. But yeah, more than anything, it's like there's like two types of Nashville. I feel like you're either like, I don't know, you're either somebody who's like brand new to town. Cause I met a girl who had just moved here. Can't remember from where. She was working, helping do interior design for like some of the interior decorating, I should say, for some of the hotels in town. And I was like, that sounds like a really fun job. Like I would enjoy that.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, it's cool. It's cool. And she's like, I'm just still trying to like figure out who Nashville is and who it wants to be. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's really interesting. And I got a little like defensive on Nashville's behalf, because I've lived here now longer than I've lived anywhere. And so I feel like I can claim local, you know, like truly. And I'm not a unicorn. I wasn't born here, but like I feel like a very deep connection to like, I've always been.
You chose it. The people that were born here didn't.
I did not leave. Yeah. I went to school here and I did not go home. and I don't think I ever will. I mean, even having like a spell in LA, I don't know. This is home.
Yeah.
So anyway, I feel like it's easier, you know, to throw somebody like that who's coming into town for a job or whatever. If I were to just tell her like, go spend a week in East and then get back to me.
Yeah.
I feel like she would be like, oh, East Nashville knows what it is.
Uh-huh.
You know?
Yeah.
Like the other side of the river is still like, I think they're just excited to be growing.
It's changing really fast. That's for sure. Yeah. You got any food recommendations for us?
You know?
Around town?
I mean.
Are you a food person?
Oh, yeah. Am I a food person? God, I wish I loved cooking more than I do. So we do eat out quite a bit. But I mean, I like the old, just like the timeless classics of, and this is not in East, but Dicey's Pizza is the best pizza in town.
Whoa, hot take.
Hot take. It's so good. Dozen cookie, chocolate chip cookie is the best chocolate chip cookie in town.
Wow.
Elegy Coffee is fabulous. Gosh,
That's
I mean,
a good
there's
flat white.
there's so many good things. And honestly, a lot of the best eats are in East, like Mitchell's can't be topped. It was topped by Clausen's Deli, but they're not here anymore.
Oh,
they left.
I have to admit, I had a bad experience at Mitchell's recently. Yes. I was diehard Mitchell's. And then there's this place down the street from us. Maybe I shouldn't be doing free ads. Called Smoke and Oaks. It's a butcher shop, and we get our meat and some produce there.
Yeah, okay.
Their sandwiches are killer. They're like $18, but they're killer. Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, I've got more.
Elegy.
I'll post like my faves on socials, and when my brain can remember everything.
Sick. Okay, maybe what do people get wrong about you, Emily Hackett?
Wrong about me.
Or are you not so concerned with what they think?
I wish I wasn't so concerned. I have a piece of art in my office that says, they don't have to like you and you don't have to care. And I posted it. I like hung it up right by the door so that I literally see it like every single time I leave the room.
Love it.
It's just a good reminder, because in this industry, it's not fun if you're constantly worrying about what other people think about you.
Yeah.
I know it's sort of part of it. Like you want people to be thinking about you, but you don't want to care what they think about you.
I like that nuance.
You know, I feel like, I mean, my buddy Nick Carpenter, Medium Build, he has a song coming out soon. I don't know if he probably wouldn't care that I'm talking about it, but it's about projecting. He's like, there I go, projecting myself. And it's like, you know, actually that isn't even the one that I wanted to talk about. Low-key, the record's going to be really good. But there's one called like, I don't want to be perceived at all. And it's that feeling of like being an artist and being like, man, I like have to put myself out there all the time and like hope that people like me. But like the reality is I just want to make art, and like, you don't even tell me what, you know, like I don't want to be perceived. Like, so it's interesting. That was the first thing that came to my mind when you asked me what people get wrong about me. Yeah.
But that is an option, isn't it? To just make art and not make a career out of it.
Oh, for sure. Right? And I kind of envy people who do.
I feel like Michael Connelly is like that. Do you know Michael?
Yeah.
Incredible singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
he doesn't give a damn.
No.
I'm like, wow, that looks pretty good. And I've been starting to feel that a little bit that myself. I got a good day job, and I'm like, wow, I have everything, and plus the cherry.
Yeah.
You know,
it kind of helps bring the joy back into like the making.
Yeah.
Of things.
Okay, last thing.
Yeah.
Speaking of the making, if there aren't a lot of musicians that look up to you already, there will be soon, I would say.
No, that's very kind.
Advice to younger musicians, less experienced musicians, or even your peers on how to put out a record, how to make this record like you've done.
How to put out a record.
Which I'll say everything looks incredible. You've got all these events.
Thanks.
There's so much artwork. You made so much art, so many videos, so much art that isn't this incredible album.
Thanks.
Wow. It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. It's, I think, surrounding yourself with people who really believe in it and can see it. I've had a great team this go around. Like Joey Schrader has done a lot of the visuals for me, and with me, and Claire Owens, who she lives in LA actually. So that's kind of crazy that we've only ever met virtually. But she, crazy enough, and it felt so like universe that she was from my hometown of Norcross, Georgia.
Whoa.
And I only put that together because I was like, oh, you have a 770 number. Like, where are you from? And she told me, and I was like, wait, what? So she's done a lot of things as well, like in animation. And Sam Street he jumped on and was so great with just like seeing my vision and being willing to like get weird and try all kinds of things with photos. One of my old time besties, Chelsea Reardon, she was down to meet me in New York City and take the original photos that kind of started everything last May. And then my manager, Meg, and my marketing team, Sophie. I mean, the people that I have been lucky enough to be like, hey, what you're doing is cool. How can I help? Is don't like it when somebody is saying that to you, don't turn them away. Like that's probably my 2 cents there is like making a record as an independent artist and putting it out is really hard. And it's a lot of spinning plates. I feel like I am a walking circus, but having anyone to be a sounding board or to make a single phone call for you or tell you like that caption is lame, let me fix it. Like, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And especially on the creative side where I'm just like word vomiting voice memos to people to help me like bring something to life. Just take it at face value when they say what you're doing is cool. I want to help.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Love it. Emily, thank you so much for sitting down. Emily Hackett's album Must Be Present to Win comes out June 26th. Is that right?
Yep. It's on the ticket. Anything
else you want to plug for the album?
We already talked about the events. I have a big release show on Sunday, June 28th. It's a house show. It's at my friend Reed's house. And she made this really cool stage in the back she built and a whole bar, and she's just like cultivating community in that space. And like today, being one of the first people on this podcast, I will also be one of the first to have a house show at her house. And it feels really fun to just like be connecting with my community in this way. So
heck yeah. Well, I'm Noah Jackson. We always record here at Treehouse Studios. See you next time. Awesome.
Yay!
Thank you so much.
Fun, dude. You crushed it. You're
back at you.